I like this palette. It is quick to blend. Stunning results quickly. There is fallout, but if you wipe your eyes before you do your face, it does really good. There are pressed pigments in this palette, and I'm used to working with those because the bigger Anastasia palettes, pressed pigments in them are the same type of dry formula as these are. These do feel like scratchy and dry, but because that's pressed pigments. This one is, that one's a pressed pigment, this one feels like a pressed pigment, and that one, and definitely this one. Pressed pigments, they last and they have just this vibrancy about them. I do not have any problems with pressed pigments on my eyes. They can stain. They can stain the skin, but yeah, I have had no problems. Some people have had problems with pressed pigments. This is a beautiful palette. It does take practice, but I love Anastasia Beverly Hills type formula because it is, their formula is close to the Tati palette. Hers were like amazing. But I must say that Tati's palette was more creamy when it came to the matte shades. This palette seemed a bit dry, but the pigmentation was there and it was just beautiful. This palette had a tendency to become very dark. Right? It's fall romance. So your eyes do get dark, and that's where the previous palette from ABH Cosmic palette would be so neat to use the toppers that are in that palette with this one. This palette, I believe, needs like a sister palette to go with it that's a little bit brighter, because this one alone, you can get some brighter looks, but then you like use, you know, maybe one or two colors. If you use too many, it has a tendency to really make you look like a bandit with a mask, because it is very dark. I love the colors though. This color right here, mulberry, seemed to have to be built up a little bit more than the other pigments. So it had like a softer type feel to it. But these metallic shades, they were amazing. And so swatches sometimes don't tell the whole truth until it gets on the eyes. This one seemed a little bit chunky. There's a little bit of gold flecks in it, and it came out a little bit chunky, so there I am just trying to smooth that out. But these are all the colors, and I must say, it's a beautiful color story. That purple drew me to this palette. It sucked me in. So here I am getting it on the eyes. I am using the Singe Beauty brushes, and I love these brushes. They are absolutely phenomenal. How they were designed and how they keep the powders where you want them. They place it exactly where you want them to go. So there's thorns, and it's like a green. I wanted to do like a green look on this side because I am drawn to green. I don't know what it is. I seem to be on a green kick right now. And it was just this beautiful army green. So I tried to show each of the colors that are in the palette as much as possible on the eyes. And it did look kind of dark. But at first you just have to trust the process. as it goes on, it's like kind of apprehensive, like, oh, this is turning out kind of dark. But overall, it was an enjoyable palette to use. Doing makeup can sometimes be like a gamble, because when you put it on, it's like, this is not turning out the way I want it to. But if you just keep trying and trying the different colors and layering, it can come out looking really amazing. This Fireside topper was really pretty and sparkly. Then I put the purple on and I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I made the right choice. But you can't help but use that color. It is just so pretty, and it just draws you in because it's like the one color that seems to pop out of the palette. So I liked it, and I like the color changer right here that you just swipe your brush and you can just use your brushes over and over again. And then that multi-chrome that they put in there was just absolutely beautiful. So that was the one look, and I deepened up the corner. I had the tendency to deepen up the corner of my eyes a little bit too much, and well, it makes it look darker. But I just that seems to be my habit right now. So this is the next eye, doing that, going into Ember, and those sparkles, I think if I used like a foundation on my eye, I'm just going on bare skin. I have nothing else on my eyes at this moment. I don't have a primer or anything, but I think a primer would make these colors be even brighter, and maybe I should have done that, like a white primer. And so for the toppers, if you did put a black primer on, they would really, really stand out. Try every single shade in this palette, just giving them each a chance to see what they do. Whether or not the eye whole concept turns out great, that's beside the point. I'm just seeing how they go on, because the swatches turned out beautiful. They didn't seem too bad. So here I am just trying to get these on and deepening up that corner. Like I said, these Singe Beauty brushes are really beautiful. Angelica Nyquist did an excellent job on designing her brushes. So they're my favorite. Out of all of the brushes from like ColourPop and other ones that I have, I pick these ones up the most. I even have some Singe Beauty brushes, but I still pick her brushes over just about everything else in my collection. So they were well worth the money and investment. And there's only 5 brushes, so they make traveling with the brushes really nice, because you don't have to pick like 100 brushes to get the look that you want. It just 5 brushes and you're good. So well worth it. If you want to keep your brush collection down to a minimum, these would be perfect for that. So there I am, going into the purple again. And I love Fireside. That just sparkled, and it's just so pretty. This brush has nothing on it. I'm just fluffing out and trying to blend out that more of an ember color right there. So I'm getting close, and here's the finished look. Alright, my final thoughts on this gorgeous Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I like it. So is this palette for everybody? No, I wouldn't say so. I like it because it fits right into the rest of the collection of my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. And I picked it up because I like fall, and that purple drew me in, and I just really enjoyed using the palette. I'm going to work with it more, but it stayed on the eyes very well, even without primer or foundation or anything, just putting it on the bare eyes. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, do all those things, and we will see you again next time.